Hi, welcome to the tutorial for creating DCPs in Cortex. Today, I'll be walking you through making a digital cinema package using Cortex's edit tool. If you're not familiar with any particular element we cover in this tutorial, visit tutorials.mtifilm.com. Keyboard shortcuts for all Cortex tools are available in the Help menu, and as we go through the tutorial, they will appear on the screen for easy reference. Also, to access the manual, press Shift F1 at any time while Cortex is open. Alright, let's get started. Assembling DCPs in Cortex is similar to IMFs in that they are both done in the Edit tool. First, we'll need to configure a DCP deliverable in the Project Manager. Choose DCP from the Deliverable dropdown and name it. Next, choose the mode, either 2K or 4K. And if needed, advanced JPEG 2000 options can be found here. Set your aspect ratio, resize quality, and framing methods. Audio for Cortex-produced DCPs is determined by track assignments configured in the composition. After you configure your DCP deliverable, we recommend setting a deliverable LUT in the preview that inverts the XYZ color space to that which your project was mastered. This will allow you to view the DCP once it's rendered in the proper color space. For example, if your project was mastered in P3 DCI, set the deliverable LUT in the preview to XYZ to P3 DCI. Now, in a new job, let's create a new DCP composition by selecting it from the drop-down menu. First, name your DCP and choose whether the package will be interop or SMPTE. SMPTE DCPs have more options for frame rates, such as 2398. Also, creating SMPTE DCPs will allow you to flag the package as Dolby Enhanced Dynamic Range, as well as label the audio tracks according to the configuration you choose for your DCP. We'll create an interop DCP at 24 frames a second. Select the input color space. This is the color space that your project was mastered in, and it enables Cortex to correctly convert the file to XYZ. Now, select an audio configuration from the drop-down menu. If you wish to encrypt the DCP, enable the checkbox, and a key is automatically generated to create a DKDM needed for playback decryption. You can generate a new key by clicking here. If you wish Cortex to automatically name the DCP, enable the Use Naming Convention checkbox in the CPL Metadata tab and fill in the requested information. The default tokens supplied by Cortex are automatically filled to conform to the DCI naming convention. Any information not visible, such as projector aspect ratio, will be obtained once the DCP is rendered. In the DCP Metadata tab, the CPL metadata will be inherited if using it to name the DCP. If required, you can overwrite this information here. However, we suggest leaving it be unless instructed otherwise. The KDM tab is where you'll add the recipient certificates from other facilities so that servers or players external to your facility have permission to view the DCP you create. Once all the metadata is completed, click Create. Now import the media you will use to create the DCP. In our media bins, we have 3 reels of video and 6 corresponding audio stems for each reel. Let's create 3 subbins to organize the audio in a way that's easier to manage. These subbins will represent audio reels and will place the respective audio stems to their corresponding bins. To assemble the DCP, enter an in and out point for each reel and assemble them in order. You can either drag and drop the media or use 3-point editing. To assign audio tracks using monophonic audio files, sometimes referred to as stems, hold Ctrl and click on each audio file in the order you want to assign them to the composition. Then set a collective endpoint for all the selected audio tracks and edit them into the composition. For SMPTE DCPs, you can edit audio track labels by right-clicking on the tab and selecting Edit. After the assembly, reel assignments are required for DCP rendering. There are 3 ways to set DCP reels. using in and out marks, using edit points, or using time intervals. To create a reel using in and out marks, ensure that the region on the timeline has been marked. Right-click and select Add DCP Reels and choose At Marks. Make sure the in and out marks are correct and select the reel number. If you like, choose a different color to code the reel and click Add. Repeat until all reels have been added. To create reels using video edit marks, right-click and select At Edit Points. Cortex will automatically assign reels with color coding. To create reels using time intervals, choose At Time Interval, and then set a duration. Cortex will create reels sequentially at the prescribed interval. Once assembled and the reels have been assigned, right-click on the DCP composition and choose Render. Enable your DCP deliverable, and if needed, select an output path for this package before rendering. Once the DCP is rendered, Cortex will automatically pop up the DCP import dialog window that includes the metadata found in the package. Click the OK button to initiate the import. Each server intended to play an encrypted DCP requires a KDM created using its unique certificate. As previously shown, their certificates can be set in the KDM tab of the DCP Creation dialog prior to rendering. It is also possible to generate KDMs after the DCP is rendered by right-clicking on the imported DCP in the sidebar panel and choosing Create KDM. Next, choose a certificate file or a folder of certificates for the servers that require permission to play the DCP. Finally, set the date and time restrictions and choose the output path. Cortex will then place the KDM files in the chosen directory to be sent to the partner facilities for use when accessing the DCP. If your Cortex workstation is expected to play an encrypted DCP created at another facility, you can copy and send them their certificate that uniquely identifies your Cortex workstation. Their certificate will be used to generate a KDM for playback permission, which can also be used for any Cortex workstation located on your network with access to its common database. Their certificate can be found and copied by clicking the DCP button at the top of the UI. In the dialog box, save the certificate as a text file to your local storage and send it to the creating facility. When you receive and import an encrypted DCP into a Cortex job, the package will be loaded with a warning to indicate its encrypted status. Right-click on the DCP and select Load KDM. Browse to the file and select Open, and the file will decrypt for playback. And that's the tutorial for DCP creation in Cortex. For other tutorials, please visit tutorials.mtifilm.com. For support, to submit a help ticket, or to find other useful information about Cortex, please check out forum.mtifilm.com. Thanks!